Show, the Black Lung. The Black Lung Show, the Black Lung. The Black Lung Show, the Black Lung. The Black Lung Show, and starting fucking now.
That's right. You're listening to the Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com. Welcome to the first show of the brand new year. It's 2018. Fuck 2017. I don't know. I can't say fuck 2017. It was all right for me. We lost too many people, friends and stuff like that. That sucked. I'm excited to be back here in studio. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I was on vacation doing the family stuff with the kids and everything. And if you're listening, I thank you. I know I didn't really post any flyers about today's show. I really don't have a plan for today's show. We're just going to see what happens. We're just going to talk about music and spin some records for you guys. Thanks for everyone for liking the Black Lung Facebook page. I was looking at my phone the other day and jumped up like 100 likes. I think I owe that to Ginger. I'm pretty sure that she was the one helping me out with that. She usually does that kind of stuff. I love you, Ginger. If you're listening, thanks for that. I'm joining the studio. It looks like I'm all alone. I'm not. I'm joining the studio. Let's see. You want to check your mic?
Hello.
Let's see. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
There we go.
Yay.
There we go. Why don't you introduce yourself to the listening audience?
Hi, I am Mana. I am a makeup artist and a punk rocker.
Then you're on the right show.
Yes.
There he is. There he is. That's who I was waiting to talk to. This is, I was welcoming everybody to the Church of Rock and Roll, Dutchy. And Dutchy, you have a new title on the Black Lung Show. You are not my engineer. You're not only my rock and roll brother, but you are the brand new, since it's the brand new year, we're going to do things a little bit different this year. You are officially my co-host for the Black Lung Show. All right. I should unmute your mic, though.
I think you should, yeah. If I'm getting promoted, give me all the, access.
So anyway, my guest, Mana, is a makeup artist. And let me start the show by saying this. This is what I love, and this is, I guess, what today's theme is going to be this, is that I love doing this radio show because over the last couple of years, I've not only got to interview a lot of my friends and help promote bands that I dig, I've also got to interview a lot of my heroes. And if you're listening to the show or watching on YouTube, are we streaming on YouTube too, by the way?
That's what I was just setting up. Well, unfortunately, someone logged out, and I got to log it back in.
That's cool. Well, we'll be on there soon enough. But anyway, if you go back and look at some of the old podcasts and check out some of the guests, that's what I was saying. 2017 was cool for us, man. I had a great 2017. I mean, shit, I had the Dayglow Abortions here in the studio. I mean, that's one of my favorite all-time bands. That was one of the best days of my life, sitting here with Dutchy and the Dayglow Abortions from Canada. We're eating Juan Pollo in studio. That was fun. A lot of great bands. And what I was going to say is that this is what I really dig about the show and Chaotic Radio in general, is that I get to meet cool people and I make a lot of friends. And these people have now, become good friends like I'm in my personal life, right? Ginger, I was saying, was helping me out. She manages the Flock Wolves, and we just got done playing a show with them. I think it was last weekend. We were in Tarzan at the Maui Sugar Mill. I'll get into all that, too. First thing, though, Dutchy, is that I want to talk to you about what, all the shenanigans that happened last night. Let's talk some punk rock.
Well, man, I'm telling you now, there was some shenanigans as well. We got lucky enough to host the show, to be MCs there. And
tell the listening audience what show you were MCing last night.
We were showing the Nardcore show at the Majestic Theater in Ventura. It was a charity event to raise money for no-kill shelters, to stop dogs being killed. Cool. So TSOL were headlining it, Ill Repute, Static 13, Box Cutters, Boxhead. I'm sorry, I'm going to miss some of the bands, but the Bastards. Man, there was a band, the opening band. They had kids in the band who were 16 years old.
Oh, they must have had the time of their life.
Yeah.
Were they good?
Oh, they were great, yeah. I said, they were all sweet and innocent and shit, And it's like, what the fuck, boys? Come on, you're rock and roll stars now. Fucking get out there. Get the women, boys, get the women. Second generation, possibly third generation Nardcore,
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
So how was it, man? Tell me.
It was fun. It was, I've never done anything like that where we're going on in between every band. And the Bastards weren't quite ready, so we had to wing it while we were out there. And then some someone in the studio, someone in the audience is going, "Fuck off, get off, fuck off," and spitting at us, and we're giving them a bunch of shit back. It was the bands were fantastic though. I want to give a shout out to JP Pettit for what he did for setting that show up and then having us up there. It was an absolute fucking blast.
So that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask you about that. I was like, how was the crowd reaction to you as host? Because it's not something you usually see at a show.
You don't see it. It shouldn't exist. Fucking get me off of there. Don't do it again. Oh, man, I feel really fucking bad about this.
What?
Right? There's a kid in the front row, and he's giving it all big guns and loving it all. And I'm going, hey, get the kid up. Come on, hey, security, bring him up here. So the kid comes up on stage, and I go to talk to him. I fucking put a mic in his face, and the poor boy has got a bad mouth and a speech impediment.
Oh.
But I thought he was making fucking fun of me.
Oh, no.
Right? So I ask him something, and he goes, and I go, oh, fuck off. Get him, push him back in the crowd. And then I go to the bar later on, and he comes up and thanks me for fucking putting him on the stage. Oh, fucking hell. I thought he was messing around.
Oh,
how bad do you feel when you do that shit?
You're going to hell.
I'm already going there. I'm just right at the front of the fucking line now.
Wow.
We still made his day. He was, you know.
Oh, that's cool, man.
It was cool.
It's a weird thing with punk rockers too. I mean, I remember being a teenager going to shows, and you get that whole punk rock thing in your head, and you're shouting shit at the bands. I remember one band. I'm not gonna name who it is because I actually met them later, but I was fucking with them at a show, like probably in like the mid '90s, and I was in the crowd, and they were playing, and I wasn't really digging their shit. You know what I mean? Like it was that. You remember that '90s wave of just the pop punk bands?
Yeah.
Like, oh fucking hell, man. And so after every song, I just kept shouting the same thing to them. They'd finish the song, thank you, and I'd be like, all right, play some punk. And they did that, and they were like, okay, we're gonna play some punk rock, and then they play it, and as soon as the song was over, I'm like, okay, cool, play punk now.
Come on, who was it? You got to tell us.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you off the air. I don't want to, because it's actually something.
You fucking know him now personally.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. I do, and they don't even know that it was me 20-something years ago.
They need to know.
Oh, it's gonna be funny. But anyway, so and then the other thing I was thinking too is that, we were talking about like the kids spitting at you. I was wondering about that too. Let's see what the reaction was. I remember I was playing a show too, again, early 2000s. I did one of the last shows at the Showcase Theater in Corona, and we got to open up for the Addicts, and I was fucking ecstatic. And I remember being on stage, and it was when I was in this glam punk rock band, right? So I had the makeup on and all that shit. And there's a fucking kid standing with his arm crossed in the front row looking at me just like, fuck you. You know what I mean? He just fucking did not like us. And I want to talk shit to him, but I was looking at him, and I just grabbed him by his little head, and I just rubbed his head. And I was like, oh, you little punk rocker, you're so cute. And he just got fucking mad and was like, fuck you. And I'm like, all right.
You got to do it.
Yeah. And it was the weirdest thing, too, because I remember playing the show, and we did a cover of Sonic Reducer by the Dead Boys, and a lot of kids didn't know that. And I got off stage, and we were one of the opening acts, and then the next band came on, and they did a cover of, I think, The Trooper by Iron Maiden, and the fucking place went goddamn bananas. And I was looking, I was like, you guys aren't going to get fucking crazy for the Dead Boys, but you're going to get fucking ecstatic for Iron Maiden? What the fuck, man? It was
Posers.
Crazy. Yeah, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So speaking of posers, I had a long conversation last night with Mel from Unit F. He called me. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to headline the show that we're doing Saturday. We're doing a benefit show, Dutchie, if you're going to be in the area, at Davia Pizza in Riverside. Next Saturday night on the 13th. It's a benefit show. One of my good friends, Matt Defiance. What band's he in now? I forgot the name. They're not that good. But it's okay. I tell him to his face all the time. He knows. Oh, the whatevers. And his mom passed away. She lost her life to cancer about a month ago. And so we're going to raise some funds. So it's going to be our band, Something Ferocious. Mel from Unit F, they were supposed to headline. And World Class Act's going to be playing on the bill. VFMS, that's Victor from the Walking Toxins, and my best friends from Long Beach, the Trancers. They're going to be on the bill. Maybe we'll get another band to get on the show. Maybe not. But anyway, so Mel calls me up last night, and he's telling me that, hey, Ryan, I'm sorry, man, we can't do the show. But we ended up we got to talking about the show that happened at the Observatory Friday.
Oh.
The other TSO show. Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear about that show?
Well, which observatory? OC or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one in Santa Ana.
Right.
Yeah, it was TSO was playing there. With,
Yes, I was supposed to go, but I was so jet lagged, I fell asleep at 7 p.m. because
jet lag. Where were you?
London.
You were in London?
I was.
I'll let Dutchie take over.
She's English.
I,
See, and I said to her, I thought you were English. And she's like, well, I am, but
well, I lived here since I was 6, so the accent's long gone, which is sad.
No, well,
nah, it's not sad. I hate English accents.
No, I love
Seriously.
the accent. It's,
No, dude,
you sound smarter automatically. As soon as you open your mouth and it's like a British accent, you automatically sound more educated.
that's right, too. I mean,
Not where I hang out. I know.
Well, you could be the exception to the rule.
So, okay. So,
Okay, so what happened at the observatory?
and this is what Mel and I were talking about. We had a conversation. We're going to have some punk rock conversation today. That's what the show's going to be about. Because I also want to get to Dutchie's comment that he asked me on Facebook. So, I was looking at the video, and we have a lot of friends that are in a lot of bands, right?
Right.
And so I was watching some of the video, and I don't know exactly what happened. So, Dutchie, if you got more information, you let me know. But I saw in the video Fletcher from Pennywise gets on stage, and he just fucking bum rushes and tackles Jack Grisham, and they go tumbling off the stage, and they just he fucked him up, right? And so I was just thinking, I was like, that's fucked up. What a fucked up thing to do. And so we started getting into this conversation about punk rock and like when is it like too punk rock? Like when is it too fucking much? You know what I mean? Like what a fucking dick move, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's lucky that people didn't beat the fuck out of him. And he
Well,
would have
he's fucking
deserved it.
humongous, though. He's got that.
huge.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
True.
Punk rock is punk rock. People are people. Someone does that. Fucking Jack's fucking huge as well.
Yeah.
I got pictures of him last night. The man's a fucking giant.
Well, compared to us, dude, everyone's a fucking
That's
giant.
very true. Yeah, fucking hell.
We are little men. We got good radio voices, though. I mean, now that you can see us on YouTube, I wonder if that takes away from the mystique. But anyway, so we just had a conversation about that. And I was just thinking, too, is that, when I was younger, I had the mohawk and all that shit and the spikes and all that kind of crap. And you kind of have this mentality about, like, what's punk rock and is, fuck you and getting drunk and just being a dick. And I just thought, eventually when you get older, maybe you should cut some of that shit out and just be cool. You know what I mean? You can still be punk rock and listen to music and have a good time and not be an asshole. That's just my opinion. What do you think? Any thoughts?
I personally think punk rock is waking up and doing whatever the fuck you want every day.
I like that answer. I'm glad you came on the show.
Thanks. Glad I'm here. Because, to be fair, I'm not a raging, I don't go out, get drunk, and, I'll get in a pit. I got in a pit a month ago, and I'm 35 years old, and I got tossed the fuck around. I'm 112 pounds. So, it's that, but it's also like, hey, sometimes I got a gig at 5 in the morning, so I'm going to go to bed early. It doesn't mean I'm not punk rock. It means I'm doing whatever the fuck I want,
Very good answer. No, I love that answer. So, Dutchie, what are your thoughts about the about what happened? Because let me tell you this. I saw another similar situation when I was out in Chicago. I think it was Chicago.
First of all, what was his motive? What the fuck was it all about?
I don't know. That's what I was asking you. Like,
I don't know. All I heard was exactly what you said. I haven't seen any video. I heard about it. Someone said it was someone from Offspring. Right?
Oh.
So
No, it was Fletcher from Pennywise.
all right, so I don't. Yeah, but it was somebody trying to get steal the spotlight.
Yeah,
Get the fuck off. And you know what? People should now think about that before they buy a Pennywise ticket.
Yeah, that's true. Well, okay, I do remember now. It was when I flew out to Denver to go see the Misfits when they did the first show at Riot Fest, right? And so before the Misfits came on, Bad Religion was playing. And I remember standing there watching the show, and I look on stage, and there's Fat Mike from NoFX, and he's obviously drunk, right? And he runs out, and he grabs Greg, and he's fucking hugging him, and he starts singing, and you can just see, like, Greg's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they actually had an exchange where Greg was like, hey, dude, I don't go to fucking NoFX shows and jump on your stage and start singing your shit with you,
Yeah.
Stay the fuck over there. And so, I don't know. I feel weird about that, like, don't do that.
It's just wrong. Fuck that. And as far as getting in mosh pits now, fuck that as well.
Yeah, no shit. I
Yeah,
don't know.
35 is fucking young. 55 ain't.
That's true.
The last pit I got into was the Adolescents at the now defunct Ink and Iron Festival in Long Beach, and I got in there, and I was probably about 35, 30, 34, 35. It's been a little while.
Last year?
Thank you. Oh, God, I wish. But I remember getting in there because they started playing like Kids in the Black Hole. And I was like, fuck yeah, or Amoeba, one of the great, adolescent songs. I jumped in the pit, and nope, got my ass kicked. Got my ass kicked, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot I'm old now. Like, I can't do that shit anymore. So, anyway. Hey, so, Dutchie, let's play some music, because, if you guys are listening, you want to talk to Mana or Dutchie or myself, our call-in number is area code 909-360-8330. Let me say that again slowly so you guys can write this down. 909-360-8330. So, Dutchie, I'm going to play some music. And so I started going through my record collection because I wanted to talk to you about the show last night. And we were talking about the whole Nardcore Fest. And so I went through and checked this out, dude. Old, original, ill repute vinyl.
Wow.
Mystic Records, right? This one's called Omelet, and it's cool. Are we on the
Yeah, we are on there, yeah.
Okay, now you guys can see this, right? Mystic Records, another great label. This is an actual original pressing. I forgot. This definitely from the 1985. 1985. Nardcore, all over the place. And the band is here. You can see them inside the egg omelet. I don't know why. So we're gonna play a couple songs real quick, and this way we get some music into the show. Again, give us a call if you got a question. You want to talk some shit with us. It's just so great. You're listening to The Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com. Here's some fucking ill repute. It's not going to happen to me. That's Ill Repute right there off the album Omelet. You're listening to the Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com. God, I love spinning records. I'm so glad it's making a comeback. If you guys are listening to and you guys want to pick up some vinyl, and we have listeners that are listening all over the world. Again, I thank you guys for listening to the show and putting up with my shit. Go to Dr. Strange Records, drstrangerecords.com. Big sponsor of the station, my show, Dutchy Shows. Dutchy's got fucking a million shows here on the station.
I was in Doctor Strange 3 hours ago.
How was it?
Oh, it always is the same way. You just have to keep your money in your pocket.
Yeah, right?
You're going to spend fucking hundreds.
So let's do that. I was talking earlier about the people that I meet on the show, and it's crazy, right? I never expected to start having phone conversations with Mel from Unit F. When I had Symbol 6 on here, Ginger became a good friend of mine, so she got us on the show. My band, Something Ferocious, we just played last Saturday night at the Maui Sugar Mill in Tarzana with Thaddeus Gonzalez from Seattle, came down on tour. The Fok Wolves also have a brand new music video out that Ginger directed as well. Check that out. Look them up. I know it's a hard name, the Fok Wolves, F-O-C-K-E. It's an old warplane, I think. I've interviewed them twice. You think I'd remember this shit. But we did that show, and we also did. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on air. I think we did the Christmas show, right?
Yeah,
yeah, that was it. Then after
shows
that,
have all fallen on the New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve.
So, but like I said, it's good to be back. And then after we did that show, the next night I played PK's Roadhouse in Lake Elsinore, and we played with the Bridget the Midget band, who surprisingly enough, and I'm just telling you the truth, I didn't think they were gonna be that good. But they were fucking badass live.
Oh, they're good.
She's like fucking 3 foot tall and just fucking full of energy. It was crazy. It was a good show. And Dutchy, here's the weird thing too. And luckily, I love the guys in my band. They're cool as shit. Because I feel kind of bad because it's weird. I walked into the place, and this is starting to happen a lot lately. And it speaks volumes for the station. But I walk in, and some guy was like, "Hey, aren't you Ryan Penny from the Black Lung Show?" Or no, not even the Black Lung, Chaotic Radio. And I'm like, yeah. And like, yeah, dude. And everywhere I've been going, people are talking about Chaotic Radio. In fact, Dutchy, when I was over at the Maui Sugar Mill, another guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, Ryan, you're from Chaotic Radio." I was like, I feel like we know each other. We've got mutual friends. And I was like, yeah, who are you? I'm the tour manager for GBH. And I was like, oh, no shit. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you guys listening, Dutchy's got a couple other shows because now he's a co-host of the Black Lung Show. And I know he's ecstatic about that.
Super excited.
That's right. His friend is a member of GBH, who, if you go back and listen to the podcast, you can hear it. And so we were talking about that. And so it's weird the way that the world works, right? And so in the studio right now, we have Mana, who we feel like we've known for a long time, and this is the first time we've ever met physically, right? Isn't that weird?
It is.
It's a weird thing how the universe takes us in this punk rock universe, and so I think you and I had a conversation on the phone.
We did talk on the phone.
That's right, about a film, right?
Yeah.
That you were working on. So this is why I want to give some time to you now, so we can talk about what you do, and because I'm fascinated by that as well. Besides the fact that I play in a rock and roll band and have my radio show, I do work occasionally in film, and I got a lot of friends that are in film, and I follow you on Facebook. I hate that word, follow. I see your shit on Facebook. Is that better?
We're friends.
Yes, we're friends. And I see a lot of pictures of you doing. Well, why don't you tell everybody what exactly you do?
That's a good question because I kind of do a lot of random shit. So my bread and butter is makeup. I'm a makeup artist. I work in film, print, TV, music videos, you name it. I do makeup for it. But I also do modeling and acting on the side, just kind of for fun because I like it. But it's not something like that I do as much as the makeup. But I know a lot of photographers and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, you want to like do a shoot?" Or they'll hire me, or "You want to be an extra in the movie?" I was like, "All right, cool." I'm actually working on a project next month where I'm doing the makeup for half the time, and then I'm doing some of the acting the other half of the time. So I'm really ADD, and I don't like to do one thing. I get super bored, so whatever gets thrown at me, I kind of do it. My goal, you're gonna laugh, but I
would never laugh.
laugh with me, not at me.
Of course.
No, I've always wanted to be a rock star. I've always wanted to be a musician.
You and me both.
Oh my God. But you are. Like, you're in a band. I'm tone deaf. Like, I don't think I could succeed in
Then
that.
just join a punk band.
Exactly. That's the truth. Look here. Look.
That's what punk was invented for.
True story.
Fucking people like me, Ryan, and you.
Yeah, exactly. True story.
Right.
True story. When I first started playing, and I've told this story on the air, so if you guys are listening and hear it, well, I'm sorry. But no, my best friends are really talented musicians. I was saying the Trancers. They're my best friends. I grew up with them, and some of the guys in the band, and I have been in other bands together. When I was a kid and I was at a show, they were opening up for the Dickies, and I was just watching how much fun that they had. I just looked over and I was like, "Fuck, I want to be in a band, right?" And I can't play an instrument, and I just said, "Fuck it." I grabbed a beer and I just started singing, and 20-something years later, here I am, and I don't know an A from an E. I can't fucking play a guitar. I have a guitar that's sitting in my garage. I don't fucking touch it. And I sucked really bad when I started, but now I can actually write with the guys, but I have to hum things out. You know, it's a weird thing, but that's what being a punk rocker is all about. Just saying, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it. Why not?
Well, if Sid Vicious could do it, I could do it.
Amen.
Sid Vicious couldn't do it.
That's what I was
Which is exactly the point of it, yeah.
He was probably the worst bass player, but the most famous.
I would say he was the most famous in punk, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Dee Dee Ramone. But
Yeah.
no, Sid definitely is way more fucking famous.
How many people wear fucking locks, you know? And I did it too. I'm not even gonna lie. I wore the lock around your neck just because Sid Vicious did it.
Yeah.
Stop right there.
Yeah, I know.
Do not fucking make fun of locks around old people's necks, right? Because there's pictures. The only reason I don't wear one now is because I fucking lost it. All the way up until last year. And the worst thing is this: you get fucked up at the shows. Fucking, you forget to fucking take it off and you go to bed. Oh, wrong fucking key, can't find the key. Yeah. Better off without it.
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, you're good. No, but
I've ADD. You're on the right show.
I get it. I already forgot what the fuck I was talking about.
You were talking about what?
Oh, being a rock star.
Yes.
I want to be a rock star.
Well, this is where it begins, right there in that fucking chair.
That's right.
No,
Anyone needs a fucking new bass player in a punk band? There she is.
Yeah.
I can scream really loud, and I'm really obnoxious and vulgar.
Perfect.
What's the name of the band? That's all I want to know.
Oh, that's a good one. What should be the name of the band?
What would wait, have you ever thought about that? What you would name a band?
I
if you were-
have, and you know what's funny? I've thought of like a million names, but I can't think of one right now because I'm on the spot.
Okay.
But
Well, I'll help you out. We'll get back to that. You can think about that.
yeah, there was.
So okay, so we were talking earlier. You're originally from England.
I am. My dad still lives there. That's where I just was for Christmas. It was epic, and I hadn't been back there for Christmas since I was 6 years old. So 29 years I had not been there for Christmas. But I visit other times. But you know, as much chance as I get to go back, I do. And I love the vibe out there. It's just so different, you know.
Well, it rains there. We don't get that in California.
No, we don't. It's rainy and gloomy.
I'm trying, Dutchie.
Every day it's fucking just about. I mean, Christmas is so different there than it is here.
It
so
is.
fucking different.
It's very.
It's way better over there for Christmas.
Totally. It actually feels like Christmas. Like here, I mean, I went like to the beach on Thanksgiving. I mean, you can't.
Well, that's true. And then for all you know, here's a true story that I just heard. That's interesting and stupid radio. That right now, everyone in Florida and New York is going through this big giant frost, big storm. That the iguanas are actually freezing and falling out of the trees.
What?
Yeah, I swear to God, because they're cold-blooded animals. And then I heard one guy, one guy.
Are they dead when they fall out?
No. And here's the funny thing: is that one guy actually went around picking them up because they're like a delicacy in like Brazil and stuff like that.
Oh.
And so I don't know who this guy was, but he picked them up and he put them all in his car like he was going to barbecue them. And then when he turned on the heater, they all came alive and started fucking running around. True story. I heard it on NPR, a real radio station that actually has real news. We just tell you about punk shows here. But anyway, so how did you get started doing makeup? And I mean, was that what you wanted to do, or did you just kind of fall into that?
I've always kind of wanted to do it. Well, this goes back to me wanting to be a rock star again. And my two passions in life are art and music. And
Cool.
I've loved makeup artistry since I was really little. So I've kind of always been into it. And I've always had a passion for music. All of my friends are in bands. I mean, 90% of my friends are in some kind of a band or have been in their lifetime. Been to like a million shows. I actually, speaking of Dee Ramone, I saw his last show before he died at the Shack back in the day. Yeah.
In Anaheim?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. He died like a week later. It was crazy. It was either the Shack or the Showcase. I can't remember. I think it was the Shack. Yeah. Anyways.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I know. The first band I saw there was Aggression and DI, I believe.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
I played the Shack one time, and it was I got to play there with Dinah Cancer for 45 Grave.
Oh.
But that was put on by, and I'm going to say it too on air. Fuck it, I don't care. It's 2018. And, for the last 2 years, I've always been nice, but fuck that. Joe Schultz. If anybody's in a band and you get a call from a guy named Joe Schultz, he's going to make you want to sell tickets. And that's fucking bullshit. I'm so fucking against that. I hate that. It's so hard.
Yeah.
And that actually takes me to something that I read recently that was actually kind of weird. You know that Ringo Starr, there's a lot of young people listening to this. Ringo Starr was a drummer for the Beatles. Just letting people know. You'd be surprised.
Kids.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Dutchie's looking at me.
No, it's so fucking true, isn't it?
Yeah.
They go, who? And you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. So Ringo Starr was actually on the internet saying that he feels really bad for a lot of these bands that are opening up for him because he's finding out a lot of these bands that get to open up for Ringo Starr that they have to sell tickets, and he's like, fuck that. And that's punk rock.
That
right?
is, yeah.
That's
yeah.
That's huge. So again, if you get some guy, it doesn't matter if it's Joe Schultz or anybody else. There's a lot of people there, and I talked to him. I'm telling you guys this on air. He called me and he was like, "Hey, Ryan, got this club. We want you to open up for the U.S. Bombs and all this shit." And I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah, right on." And he's like, "So, how many tickets can you sell?" And I was like, "Joe, I played for you over the last 20 fucking years. I've done a lot of shows for him." And it was like the Showcase Theater. When we did the Showcase Theater, we did like a battle of bands, and we sold tickets. And then once they saw that we could draw a crowd, then we got to play with, a lot of bands over the years. The Addicts was obviously the biggest. And that was it. But this guy just always makes bands sell tickets. And they always give you the same fucking spiel. They're like, we're going to put you on this headlining act, and you're going to get exposure. That's the fucking biggest sham.
Fuck exposure.
Right? Did they tell you that stuff too in makeup or film?
Totally.
Yeah, we can't pay you, but it's going to be great exposure.
Yeah, I tried giving exposure to my landlord, and he gave me an eviction notice. Like, come on, you can't. It's bullshit, and I hate that. The whole
That sounded really bad. What you said.
It did, right?
Wait, what?
I gave exposure to my landlord, and he kicked me out. Oh yeah, shit.
Was it gay? What?
No, but it's bullshit. I get hit up by a lot of these.
Nothing against gay people. I don't want fucking everyone going on. Yeah,
it's-
everyone never gets butt hurt nowadays from fucking everything. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't say butter in the same section.
Oh,
the sentence either.
There it goes. Yeah.
Come on, let's get back to it. Fuck it.
Oh my god! But no, I get that a lot. I had somebody from I forget, it was some showcase thing, and they're like, "Yeah, we want to display your makeup art and all that, and you just got to sell these tickets." I'm like, "No, no, thanks."
It's the worst thing. It's promoters that are, I think, are just fucking lazy. If you're the promoter, it's your job to do that. You know what I mean?
It's very. It goes everything against being an artist, and
Right.
it goes into the corporate. You're taking advantage of the artist now. They're not doing shit. We have to do the business side and the art side. No.
Yeah, exactly. So with your makeup, let me ask you this: do you is it just I know that you do a lot of just like straight up makeup for like magazines and things like that. Do you delve at all into any kind of like special effects makeup?
I do, yes. I do for film. I do like blood and guts and gore and bullet wounds, stab wounds. I've recently gotten into prosthetics. I've applied quite a bit of that, but I'm trying to learn how to make my own now. So that's a new step for me, which I haven't delved into a lot, which is baking and doing all that. I started out with beauty.
Okay.
And then I kind of got into the special effects and taught myself. And I know a lot of makeup artists who do that. So they've given me points and tips and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of do it all, basically, from blood to beauty.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
Well, look, check it out. So that's you're definitely on the right show, because my two biggest passions in life, well, besides my kids and, you know, those fuckers.
That's a given.
Yeah. But I love punk rock and horror movies. Like,
Yes, that's my thing.
that's my
Yes.
everyone that's ever, I mean, you can even, like, all the tattoos, you know, there's Jason mask with a Freddy Claus, and I've got Night of the Living Dead and all, you know, everything. I'm a huge horror fan. It's
Me too.
so have you actually done special effects for horror movies? And if you have, which ones have you worked on? I'm curious. I want to see.
I did a film. One of my first films I did special effects on was Range 15. I don't know if you have heard of that, but it was #1 on Amazon and iTunes or something 2016 or 15.
I haven't.
Can't remember. Anyway, Danny Trejo was in it, and Sean Astin from The Goonies, and William Shatner, and a few other people. But it was a post-apocalyptic kind of military war story. It was really cool because the people who were left to save the world were real vets. So it was a movie made by vets for vets. So it was all an Indiegogo thing, raised a bunch of money and made them.
What's the name of the movie again?
Range 15.
Range 15.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
No, I got to look
pretty
into it.
richly-
And that's another thing. I'm a vet, so
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I spent 5 years in the Army.
Oh, wow.
You can't tell by my big muscles.
They're so huge.
Oh, you're a chef.
Yeah. What's that?
Chef.
Was I a shit? No, true story, man. When I joined, because I had a little bit of a rough childhood, I went into the military, and those motherfuckers, dude. They I told them I went in there and I asked them what I could do, and I didn't have a driver's license at the time, and so they told me that my choices were limited, right? So the first job that I told them, I said, I want to do something with computers. So like, okay, you're going to be a 13 Foxtrot, and that's the job was a fire support specialist. So basically, what I was a grunt with a radio. So I was attached to an infantry unit, and I was a guy that would be on the hill with binoculars, and I had to call in artillery fire to have, you know, to kill people with a life expectancy of like 13 seconds or some shit like that. And the computer skills that I got was they gave me it was called a Fed, and it was just a little computer screen where you just punch in grid coordinates. That's a computer. That's the computer skills that I got. That's what they fucking told me. I had that choice. I could be in the infantry or I could be an Avenger crew member. And what sucked, dude, it was fucking crazy, was that I remember in training, I was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I was going to be the distinguished honor graduate, like the top of my class. I was fucking all stoked. And the day before I graduated, I came out into the battery where we were having a formation, and the drill sergeant comes out. He's like, Private Pena, front and center. I came out. I'm like, what the fuck did I do now? So I was always in trouble. And so they said, he looked at the battery. He was like, Private Pena will not be joining you guys today or tomorrow or ever again. I'm like, oh shit, serious. And so they took me in a truck and they drove me away. This is the first time I've actually said this shit out loud. They drove me to like
Sounds good.
to a security compound, and they were like, oh, we found your drug history. You cannot have a security clearance. So they're like, either you can go home or you can get another job. And I was like, are you fucking serious? So I was like, all right, I can't. I wasn't qualified to kill people anymore because I had done drugs when I was a
Come on,
teenager.
you should have been promoted.
I know.
You know?
True story. No, I swear to God. So I sat there and I was like, okay, what job can I get? And they gave me a list of 126 jobs. The recruiter fucking lied to me because he just had a quota to fill. He wanted to have certain positions filled. And so I looked down and I was like, what is this? Veterinary health inspector. And so I became a health inspector, and I was attached to a veterinary unit where they treated military working dogs, the ones with all the dogs and stuff like that.
Puppies.
So
Fuck it now.
that's what I did for the last 4 years of my military career. I worked as a health inspector, going in checking the commissaries, and then I worked part-time, spaying and neutering cats and dogs and stuff like that at the vet clinic. So that was it. because I was a bad
Exciting stuff.
yeah crazy stuff. Anyway,
Stuff in
that's
the
enough
face.
about me. I got this is my show. You can hear about this shit every Sunday, just about if I'm here. But my guest Mana is a makeup. And I saw that. Like I said, I see your Facebook post. I saw your picture with Danny Trejo.
Right.
Again, anyone that's listening to the show, if you don't recognize the name, that's the baddest fucking Mexican in cinema.
It's Machete.
Yeah, Machete.
And he's so sweet.
Is he?
You'd all be happy to
Fucking
know.
doesn't look
he's
at
a-
you. Scary
Right?
as
No,
fuck,
he
doesn't
does, but he's like the nicest person I've ever worked with. Honestly, like he's just so humble and so sweet. He was like, "Hey, those are real vets," and he was all like, felt honored to be around them, and he's just so sweet. I just want to pinch him. Kiss him.
That's rad.
Yeah,
That's rad.
he's-
So as we were talking about, Fletcher and the assholeness. That's not even a word.
Asshole-ish,
Thank you.
the assholery.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's perfect English right there. Right, Dutchie? You
Exactly, yeah. Now that exists, and if it doesn't, it does now.
And so one of the things that Dutchie, and I know Dutchie agreed, come on, Dutchie, help me out with this too, is that one of the things that we love about this job is that we get to work with a lot of bands, and we are humbled when we meet humble rock stars.
Totally.
Like people that are down to earth and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Have you and I've worked in film with some people, but have you worked with some people that are just fucking assholes?
Oh, totally.
Right?
Totally. I mean, it's a given, and it's funny because some big name ones are assholes, but it's mostly the up and coming. Like the ones who have made it and are already kind of stars, they're really humble and sweet. It's the ones that like a lot of people know who they are, but not everybody knows who they are, and they're just kind of on the brink of like fame. They're the biggest divas, honestly.
No shit. So they give you do they give you shit like when you're doing their makeup?
Just yeah, I mean they can be kind of picky and choosy, but I mean honestly, I've been really lucky to where the majority of people I work with have been very pleasant. And honestly, everybody I've worked with, I would say about 80% of the people I'm like still friends with, and we still hang out, and we're just totally tight, and you just make friends, and then you just kind of brush off the dicks, and you're just that's I'm just saying all the wrong things. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could come when I cut and edit this. I could make a really good little fucking commercial.
Oh my god.
She's exposed herself.
Brushed off dick.
She's only had half a glass of wine
I
too.
know,
She's not
yeah.
even
I'm
fucked up
telling
yet.
you, I don't need wine. I'm just naturally this awkward.
You sound happy, and that's great.
But you know, the first time I came across you, I thought was, I think, if I remember right, was seeing some of your pictures from a movie, from the makeup that you'd done.
Probably.
And it was horrific and horrifically fucking real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the movies. Well, Range 15, we had a whole team of special effects, so I can't take credit for all of that because it was like 10 people doing it. But I've done a lot of short films. But you know what my favorite thing to do is, and this might go back to my passion with music because, like you said, I'm just like horror movies, blood, guts, music, and art. That's my thing. Music videos. I love working on music videos. Even especially as an actor or model, because I don't have to remember lines. It's awesome because I suck at remembering lines, and you just go out there and do your thing. Plus, you don't have to be quiet on set, you know, all that stuff.
All right. So, which music videos have you been on? And you were saying something about your friends been in bands. I always have a segment on my show because this show is about promoting bands.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point about giving back to the scene because I play real bands. You listen to terrestrial radio, you're gonna hear fucking Led Zeppelin and Metallica over and over again at nausea, right? God damn it. There's even bands that I like that I can't even stand anymore because I just
know.
hear it over and
Yeah.
over again.
It's true.
So speaking of which, let's do this. Let's play some music because we're talking a lot. We've got maybe about 10 minutes left of the show. But that's the other thing, too. I don't like rules. I don't like to follow things. I think this show's going... I think we're having fun. It's the first show of the year. We'll go a little bit longer. Dutch, you got shit to do?
I'm the engineer of this show.
You're the co-host, motherfucker. That's
I'm
it.
also engineering it. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'd be sat right next to you right now.
That's true. He is doing that.
Keeping an eye on the phone lines, just in case those thousands of people call in. 909-360-8330.
He's good at this job. I was thinking of which records I was going to bring in to play. And so Tia Sewell, who was headlining the Nardcore Fest last night, that Dutchie and Kat, and your girlfriend, Brenda, were there. See, I was going to ask you about that too. You know, I thought that would help. You had beautifully tattooed women on stage with you helping you.
Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately, they were on the other side of the stage, and I had this fucking a-hole right in front of me. And the photographers that were all there last night, fucking God bless them. I know 3 out of the 4 of them, right?
Who was it?
David Shee was there. Jason Cook was there.
Was Sal there?
No, Sal wasn't there. And then there was another fella there, and I don't know his name. I know his face.
Was it John from OC Weekly?
John Gilhooly was there as well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But then you had the guy with a big, long fucking beard. Big fucking long beard. Right? Anyways, Brenda just posted a picture of the fucking dude who was spitting at me. This guy had fucking, hair like that. Fucking fuzzy, fucking corkscrew hair. And just, you could see the hate in his eyes. He fucking hated me. And I'm like, and I was getting into it with him deliberately, like fucking winding him up. And he was fucking getting it. Missed, landed on my feet, son. Come on, you can do better than that, you fucking idiot. Come on, let's go. And I'm forgetting that I've been asked to introduce the bands, and here am I going at it with this fucker, and you're God, fucking you fucking stupid idiot.
That's awesome, man.
You ain't a punk. You can't spit far enough.
Poser.
And then God bless, my woman fucking supports me. She's fucking right next to me. She heard me say, "Why don't you fuck off?" So she's like, "Yeah, you can fuck off."
Oh man, damn it, dude! I wish I was at the show with you. I would have fucking got your back right there too. Like, all right, you can't spit, but can you swallow, motherfucker?
Oh, yes.
Anyway, it's gonna be a great year in 2018. And so, TSOL was also headlining the Observatory the night before. We were talking about that with that Fletcher incident. But that bill was great, too, because Dutchie, his shows on Tuesdays, A Beautiful Disaster from 4 to 6 with the beautiful Cat Monroe. And his show, 70
RPM at 3 on a Friday.
Right, with the lovely Brenda.
With Brenda.
Right? You're surrounded by beautiful women. This is the first show of the year. I got a beautiful woman in studio with me. Her name's Mana.
Mana.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's all right.
It's okay. Everybody mispronounces
I told you that before.
I knew we were going to do that. I knew we were going to do that. You know, it's because it's a spell, and I start thinking about the fucking...
it's that band, that fucking band.
Yeah,
Mana,
it is.
And I was here first. I'm older.
You fucking tell him.
That's right. God damn it. I always fuck up a Mana show. Anyway, let's see if I do this right. We're going to spin some more vinyl. That show at the Observatory was TSOL headlining, right? And it was bands that have been on the Black Lung show. Lower Class Brats, Narcoleptic Youth, who's also been on Dutchie's show as well as mine. And so I brought in some Narcoleptic Youth to play. Yes. And this is one of my favorite songs by the band. Actually, my favorite song. Hopefully I've got this at the right fucking speed. This is Cocktail Sword for the album One Nation Under Nothing.
Well, I'm not in control like I ought to be. If I can better share hell, just wait for me. My rush shake tests is what I'm insane and evil back in what I drown. I'm right in the brain, 'cause I'm mad, and I'm born. Do not piss me off. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with a cocktail sword. Wait a minute, why? 'Cause it's just an after me. The winner stabbed me in the jacket, put me back on me. Every day I step close to my pen and doom. I'm thinking time in the shadow with a bad in rooms. I'm mad, and I'm born. Do not piss me off. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with a cocktail sword. Yeah, see it till it runs from across the bars in the white summer hot. Gonna make your
Hi, we're the Briefs, and you're listening to the Black Lung Show on Chaotic Radio.
Gonna let wet, immoral slaw, brush your fucking hair and get a job. Baby, come, a titty cop. Right now, you're all a bunch of social flaws. Get grass, go to work, get the class, go to church, learn God's love right. Burn! That's all I hear. Burn! They shove it in my ear. Burn! They brush your hair. Burn! While I don't care. Just a fuck up. Piece of shit. No girlfriend. Just a fucking flirt. Go to the army. You like a fight? I don't care. Just do something right. Get dressed, go to work, get the class, go to church, that's the right. Burn! That's all I hear. Burn! They shove in my ear. Burn! They brush your hair. Burn! While I care. Just a fucker. Piece of shit. No girlfriend. Just a fucking flirt. Tell the army. If you like a fight. I don't care. Just do something right.
Yeah. We're back. You're listening to the Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com. I'm your host, Ryan Pena. I'm joined in studio as always. We're going into a second hour. I don't know if we'll do another hour. I don't know if we'll do 15 minutes. It doesn't fucking matter. We just do whatever the fuck we want, right? That's right. We do.
It's nice to fucking be in a position, right, where you can just go, fuck them. That's what I'm doing.
That's what.
I was listening to KLOS today, and they're the most fucking boring fucking woman, right? And I go, right, and
This is
she's
gonna
like,
be good.
and this next song is Boston. How
Boston.
about you
Oh,
fuck
God.
off?
Let me tell you this: if there's a band that's named after a city, they probably or a state, they probably suck. Boston or
Chicago.
Alabama, yeah, all that shit. Like, God damn it! Can you be fucking a little
Where
bit
you
more
from? I'm from fucking Boston. What should we call it? Fuck off, brain dead people.
No shit, right?
Right? I'll tell you what, that song that we came back into with just now was Ill Repute. Right? So I get to meet because I was going to do this show and I did something I'd never normally do. I actually fucking researched what I was doing.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I know, yeah.
And she almost spit out her wine.
I kind of did, actually.
Because you know what, I don't even know what bands are coming on the show on a Tuesday. I walk in and then there's a band in front of me, and I go, "Gentlemen, how are you?" And I walked in one day and it was Professor and the Madmen in the studio, and I go, "Fucking hell, I didn't know you guys were coming in." And Cat's like, "I sent you the flyer." I'm like, "I don't fucking read that shit."
Yeah.
But anyways, back to this. So I researched the Nardcore scene, and Tony Cortez from Ill Repute was given by the mayor of Oxnard. They were called to City Hall and given an award for their... It's a fucking Nardcore band, right?
Yeah.
Given a fucking award for their contribution to music. And he was nicknamed the mayor of Nardcore.
Wow.
So I get to meet the guy last night, and I'm standing at the Chaotic Radio table, our little booth, and he comes over and he gives me this fucking album I showed it you earlier.
Yeah.
Right? 30 Years of Nardcore. And there's a 36-track CD, and there are 20 tracks on the album, books. They actually made a documentary. A documentary was made on the band. So I got to watch that and find the link for YouTube for it as well, and so everyone can watch it, because it's interesting shit. But going back to what you said, are there arseholes in the industry, in the film industry, in the makeup industry? Because you'd find very few in punk.
Yeah. You find a few, and look, I'll share you a story too. We were talking about I don't know how we got into it too, like the whole I think it was the film that you were working on, the military thing, right?
Yeah.
So check this out. So here's a funny story for you, Dutchie, too, about the Majestic Ventura Theater. This is actually a true story, and this is actually really, really weird. Back in 2001, I was still in the Army, so I had, that very sexy haircut, the fucking it's called a high and tight. You know, you can if you don't know what a high and tight is, just get pulled over by a cop and you'll see. They all share the same stupid haircut. But we at the time I was in a band called the Hostages, and I was having the time of my fucking life. We had just got done playing the Warped Tour. We actually just got done playing with Pennywise and Rancid and AFI and Fear, and I got lots of stories about that. But we were doing well back then, and we got booked for the Surf Rodeo in Ventura, and I think it still goes on. Again, this is years and years ago. The Surf Rodeo is like a big surf contest, and then on the beach they have stages, and it's like I think we were playing that year with the Youth Brigade and the Mad Caddies, and it's some other good bands. And this was just right after the World Trade Center got hit, right? So it was a fucking crazy time, and I was so stoked because our manager at the time was Sonia Catalano. Jason Catalano's mom is a pro skater. She was the one that actually booked all the skateboarding stuff for the Vans Warped Tour, and when she booked us for the Surf Rodeo in Ventura, the night before the show, there was a show at the Ventura Theater, and we got there, and I felt like a rock star that night. It was so fucking cool. We got there in line. I'm standing in line waiting to get in, and that night was the Circle Jerks. They were headlining the bill.
Nice.
And me and a couple of guys from my band, so we got a hotel room down there, and we're standing in line, and the promoter's like, "Oh, you guys are the Hostages," and they let us go. Like, we cut right in front of the line. They didn't search my leather jacket, nothing. We were just like, they're like, "Hey, this is the Hostages. They're fucking rocking the stage fucking tomorrow." I'm like, "Yeah, this is fucking rad. This is gonna be awesome, man." So I'm walking in there. I'm just fucking pumped, and I look over, and there's Brandon Cruz from Dr. No. You know, another.
Another narco band. Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking over, and I'm like, "Brandon, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?" And he's just standing there watching the show, and we're watching the show, and it was the weirdest thing. Because at that time, the country was fucking torn. You know what I mean? It was in turmoil. People were flipping the fuck out. And I remember it was the weirdest shit I'd ever seen, and I got mad. This is, again, Dutch, true story. So Keith Morris, who's also been a guest on the Greg Dixon show here. I want to get him because I want to talk to him about this. I was watching the show, and Keith Morris was saying, like, before we go fuck up Afghanistan and do all this shit, you know, we should try, you know, do some research into this shit or find out why we're doing this, you know. It didn't fucking matter. Everybody in the country was fucking mad. And so I remember it was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen at a punk show. One of the kids literally reached up, Dutchie, grabbed the microphone out of Keith Morris's hand, brought the microphone down, and said, "Fuck this guy. Fuck Afghanistan. Let's go fucking bomb them. Don't listen to this motherfucker." And the crowd turned on the Circle Jerks. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I've always been a big believer in, you know, again, what's punk rock? Anarchy. Fuck the government.
Right.
Do what you want, you know? And question shit.
Yes.
You know? Not only, I mean, you don't have to agree right off the bat, but at least fucking take a second to question what the fuck's going on. Right? And they turned their back on them faster than I'd ever seen anything. And I was fucking livid. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. You just got brainwashed quicker than shit." And look, I know, and if here's where the backlash is probably gonna come in. Well, who the fuck are you? Well, this is who the fuck I was, and this is what the fuck I did. It fucking ruined it for my band. And the next day I was so fucking mad that had happened. You know, like, why would you turn your back on Keith Morris? And just because he wasn't talking shit about anything. He was just saying, you know, we should not go to war and kill people.
It's because he had intelligent conversations.
Yeah, that's
what
what smart people do.
Right? They think about some shit. Again, that's... Fuck, unfortunately, look, it's all happening now again with our...
It's happening again now, and I want to talk about that, but I want to...
Yeah, let me finish this. Check it out. I got you. So this is what happened with me the next day. And my band's still pissed off at me about it. So I was fucking livid. We were playing during the day, sitting there drinking at a bar, just getting madder and madder. And if you don't remember, everyone had American flags on their car. Everyone was super fucking patriotic at that time. And I was I was mad because I was still active. You know what I mean? And I don't want to go. I don't want to go fucking kill people and die. I didn't know what happened with the trades. Hey, see if I can sum this up and not sound like an idiot. I got on stage.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I know. I got on stage, right, and I was like, I see a lot of you guys with these American flags on your car. I'm like, all of a sudden now you guys are super fucking patriots. I said, my name is Specialist Ryan Pena from the U.S. Army. I said, you guys think you're all fucking patriotic? Why don't you join the Army and go fucking fight with me, motherfuckers? I hate it. They cut the microphone off. They stopped. They cut the mic off.
Bastards.
Yeah, they were like, fuck this guy. And I was mad because of what they did to Keith. I was saying, like, how are you going to turn your back on him? And silence. The band was playing. It was fucked up. It was a fucked up situation. So now, what do we got going on now? We've got a fucking radioactive yellow president or orange president, right? That says the most stupid shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. And again, our country is divided and torn between
iPhone and Android.
Yeah. Good answer.
The best one so far.
Not bad. God.
I feel like that's what no, I'm kidding.
No.
No, it's
kind of
relevant
is,
because
if you think
it's that
about it.
fucking stupid, isn't it?
It is stupid. Everyone's like, "Oh, my iPhone." I'm like, "Are you really fighting over a fucking phone? I don't give a shit what you use, Like,
Yeah.
it's just stupid. Everybody has to be like, "Well, I'm this and you're that."
Right.
That's what this.
Well,
I'm
you know,
Democrat, you're-
do you get that in the work that you do? Are there that many people that hold it either against you or love you for it, or is there the politics going on in being a makeup artist and in the movies and all that as there is in the music industry?
I would think that there was probably a little bit. I don't know if there is less of it or if there's more of them on one side. Do you see, like, in the like film industry, the majority are liberals.
Yeah.
And I actually worked on some infomercial back in the day, and the PA was a gay black man, and then the mom or somebody that was like playing the mom in the infomercial like outlandishly says she voted for Trump, and that like completely caused some tension. I'm like, well, you're in a setting where everybody is like, there are a lot of trans, there's a lot of gay, there's a lot of ethnicities and things like that. So she was automatically that oddball, the outcast.
Mana, do you get to say what the fuck you want to say, or do you have to shut up in case you piss everyone off and you get blackballed?
You do have to watch what you say, for sure. I get the feel, the way I kind of deal with it, because I'm mouthy and I kind of say what I fucking want to say. And if there's people that don't agree with me and it's going to cause tension, I don't fucking want to work with them anyway. I'm like, okay, we have nothing in common. I don't want to make art with you. Cool. Have a nice day. Like, I don't give a shit. I have other gigs I can do. But for the most part, the way I play it is that the people who I agree with and we have things together, after we wrap, we're going to go hang out. The people that not, I'm going to do your makeup. I'm not going to talk much. I'm going to get my paycheck and go. It's just, you got to be smart. You got to choose your battles for sure and be smart about it. It's like, well,
that depends where you are. And that's why I asked, because it does seem that you would have to choose your battles and you would have to be careful about what you say. Whereas I'm in a position where I really don't give a fuck, and I can say exactly what I say, and if you don't like it, you can fuck off.
He does.
And if any,
Constantly.
I mean, so we'll go back to that Billy Joe Armstrong post that we put on the other day,
good.
right? Yeah. And I put some people, I asked some people because they're in the industry. I put it out there: Billy Bones, Casey Royer, 4 or 5 others. What's your take on this? Not trying to. I don't know. I know some of them are on one side or the other side, but there's a lot of them I don't know. I don't know, right? So it got pretty fucking heated, like really fucking heated, to the point where someone questioned me as to what country do you come from? What, and I never said it because I never thought about it at the time, but it's like, if I had have said that to a Mexican
right.
immigrant, I'd have been blasted for being an absolute fucking racist.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
and people don't know. These people don't know. I've lived here 26 years. They don't know if I've been a fucking citizen for 2 months
Yeah.
or 25 fucking years, right? Now, it came from a person who was obviously, and when I say this, let's just say their last name was Mexican, right? So, and then they assumed, well, they said your girl Hillary. Whoa, fucking
What?
no, hang on a second. Hillary is as stupid and fucked up as Mr. Trump is,
Yep.
as Presidente Trump.
Right?
Simple, right?
Yeah.
The saddest thing is we got to this, right? Those last two candidates. But I just wonder because in punk, you can pretty much fucking say what you want to say,
Yeah.
you know? And who's going to knock me? And if they don't invite me, if I don't get invited again to do a show because of something I said when I was on this stage, I'm sorry, then fucking don't invite me. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But you're in a position where you can't really be as bold as we are, right?
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your post, and I thought about the answer, and I didn't really think about it too much, because honestly, I really am very political, and I try to keep politics out of the show as much as I can, because to me it's gotten not boring, but what's the best way to put it? I think if you've made up your mind, you've already made up your mind.
Yeah.
and
There's
and
nothing.
there's nothing
anyone
you can say to anybody.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about
Pointless. It's
right.
pointless.
I do it for the fun.
Well, yeah, I
I
know.
do it to piss people off.
Yeah, I know Dutchie does that too. I gave up, but honestly, for me personally, I'll say this, and I'll use the military thing, right? Because I'll say it out loud for everybody. First off, I used to be a Democrat. I used to be, and I'm not, and I vote. I don't know if votes matter, especially with electoral college. I think it's all bullshit.
It is.
It is, right?
Every vote counts. Don't ever doubt
California,
it.
Well-
California is always going to be blue. So no, if I vote or not, it's going to be a blue state. It'll never be a red state. So it's like,
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, it depends. I mean, we've had, maybe not for the president, but we've had Republicans like, but fucking the governor Schwarzenegger, when he won, I was fucking surprised. Like, holy shit, this motherfucker won. But I gave up trying to compare shit. But if you take I'm going to say this, Dutchie, as a military veteran, the president of the United States is a leader of our military, right? If you just think about that. And when I was in the military, I took away some good things, and one of it was that it taught me respect. It taught me how to work hard. It taught me how to be a man, and I carry that with me. Not when I'm on stage doing a punk show, but like when I'm at work or when with my kids. And the reason I don't like Trump, and it has nothing to do with party lines, is the guy's a fucking asshole. Basically that.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, I mean, he was there making fun of handicapped people. That fucking happened.
yeah.
You saw that shit, right?
Oh yeah.
That means you're an asshole. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat
Yeah.
or fucking an alien. You're
Mhm.
a fucking asshole. And you're stupid
Mhm.
because he can't talk, and I just thought back, like, if I was still in the military, I wouldn't want this guy being fucking in charge of me and going to send me to war and kill me and my brothers and my sisters in arms and represent our country. This guy's the most dangerous motherfucker. Like, I miss Bush. That's how fucking dumb this motherfucker is. And it's weird because I when I go on Facebook or any social media, I don't unfriend people because they think differently than me. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. You support Trump, and it's weird because they've been friends of mine for years, and I look at them like, how can you do that? But the statement with the whole Billy Joe thing, and to answer your question, Dutchie, is that if you just take yourself out of being part of a party, and I don't even know why they call it a party because none of that shit's fun. That ain't a party to me. This right? This is the fucking
It's
dumbest
a
shit.
funeral.
Yeah. I'm part of the Democratic funeral or the Republican funeral. Way to fucking say it. It's just fucking horrible. And if you take yourself out of that and you just look at the motherfucker, that's what I'm saying. As a fucking human
It's
being,
a fucktard.
yeah, he's fucking getting into it with somebody that's already unstable, Kim Jong-un from
Yeah.
fucking North Korea. and saying some shit that could possibly fucking wipe us out of existence. Like, God damn it. You don't think that's stupid? You know, if I said fucking some dumb shit, everyone would shit on me. But it doesn't matter if he makes fun of Mexicans. We're all rapists, you know. He doesn't care about wow. It's ridiculous. I just think you should take people and judge them by their character.
Exactly.
Right?
But we're being brainwashed to be divided.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
what
you.
pisses me off. And I don't give a shit. That's what I always... The only thing that I will, like, be like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like, you could vote for Trump. I don't give a shit. You could do whatever you want. You know, I like country. I'm like, okay, you suck. But I like punk, you know. But if you don't like pit bulls... And that's one thing that I can't. If someone's like, "Oh, pits are dangerous," and pits are that just pisses me off.
I better shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You don't like pit bulls?
Fucking devil dogs. They fucking rip your fucking.
Oh,
They kill people for fun, just for fun.
Be friends anymore.
Well,
that's my girl. I've got a pit bull. She's half blue nose, half American bulldog, and she's 75 pounds and beautiful and sits on top of me. Every single night when I sleep. Huge dog. I love that dog. In fact, I miss her right now.
I know. They're the best.
All right.
But
So
yeah,
that's a good way.
Anyways, yeah, I think it's dumb that people are so divided. And
It's divide and conquer. It's basically what it is. They
yeah.
want to turn us against each other, you know? And that's a sad thing.
And
I'm waiting for all the good fucking music to come out of it. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think that's the only good thing that's going to happen out of this fucking crazy presidency. It's sad, man, and I hope nothing fucking happens where we have to go fucking fight more goddamn wars, because it's you know, again, if you're listening to this and this is pissing you off, well, first off,
don't listen.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
like Billy Joe, like Billy Joe says, like that's the thing. You were asking about the opinion, and my opinion is this: is that if you're fucking a patriot, why aren't you fucking in the service? Right? How many people served? I did. So I got a fucking opinion, and mine matters, and yours doesn't.
You know, if people have got opinions, I'm good with that. Good with that. Totally.
I know.
You go back to what you said, and again, we got too political. I'll tell you what. Let me play something real quick. I'll play just a snippet of this. If you've seen it on YouTube, you will know what I'm going to do, right? Because it's fucking hilarious.
All right, let's see what he's got.
Are you a Talking Heads fan?
Yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you know, you may say to yourself, well, how did I get here?
If you haven't seen it on YouTube,
I haven't, dude.
Right, go and look. Donald Trump versus Talking Heads, and they've taken the exact video from them, and they've cut word after word after word, and you see Trump doing all of his shit. It's fucking classic.
Wow, man.
Yeah, that's how seriously we should take it. Let's go back to fucking music and horror movies and
yes, blood
Yes.
and guts.
Mana's fucking experiences.
You know who else is super cool is Kane Hodder.
I've tried to get him on the show. I met him. Yeah, I met him at because I go to a lot of the horror movie conventions.
Monsterpalooza.
Yeah,
I met him there too.
right.
Yeah.
Let's do this for listening on. Kane Hodder, Jason from the Friday the 13th movies. He's also got a new movie coming out too. What's the fucking movie? With a lot of the horror icons. They were trying to do like the Expendables of horror.
Oh.
It's
really?
it's him.
Kissing Jason and Freddy. And
Yeah, Robert Englund is in it. I think Tony Todd is in it.
Oh.
I think God, I can't remember. Death House, something like that.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. It sounds familiar.
Anyway,
Yeah. He's cool.
all right. Let me ask you this: favorite horror movies? I want to know what you. Let me pick your brain.
Okay. So when I was little, I have an older brother. He's 8 years older, and he was a gore horror. I mean, we shared a room and I had like Freddy and Jason and all that. One of the first movies he introduced me to was obviously the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Bad Taste.
Peter Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah,
What,
see,
his first fucking movie.
that's right.
Yeah. It was made in Australia. He's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So it was in New Zealand.
It was Wingnut Films. I told you, I'm a.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm-
impressed.
Yeah, I'm just a spectator now. I'm fucked. This is Tokyo Times crossword to me.
Wait, so you don't like Pitts or horror movies?
I love fucking horror movies, but I couldn't tell you one fucking fact about any of them. You know?
Oh, it was
If Brenda was here, she would.
Oh, she
jump in.
knows her shit,
Oh,
dude.
She does.
So-
And Dead Alive.
That's right. Dead Alive.
Dead Alive.
Dead Alive. Peter Jackson, before he directed the Lord of the Rings films, was a horror movie director, and he did the two bloodiest movies of all time:
Ever.
Bad Taste and Dead Alive. And I've seen both of them probably about 30 times a piece. I mean, Dutchie, you would fucking love it. Have you seen either one of these movies?
Never.
Oh, dude, you
yeah.
have to. It's so fucking classic. Look, I know these movies like the back of my fucking hand. In Dead Alive, they've got some of the best fucking lines. Look how much I'll nerd out right now.
I
Watch
love
this.
it.
In Dead Alive, there's a fucking priest that comes out and he's like, "Stand back, I kick ass for the Lord," and he starts doing kung fu on some fucking zombies. It's a priest, right? And then there's another scene with a Mexican chick. She's like, "Oh my God, your mother ate my dog," and it said fucking right. Remember that? I'm telling you, I love this shit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. Yeah, those are my top two for sure. God, I have such a horrible memory, but I'm trying to think of some other classics.
The Evil Dead,
Well, yeah, that's a given.
right?
That's a given. The first one.
Do you like the first one better or the second one? Because that's the biggest thing in horror.
It is, the first one is definitely more punk rock because that was a student film.
Yes.
The first one was a fucking student film.
Thank you.
It's
Finally,
crazy.
everyone that says that the Evil Dead 2 is better than the first one, it's not.
It's graphically better. Like the
Dutchie's putting his headphone down. He's like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm out of here."
he doesn't care.
He doesn't know what we're talking about.
True, but no, the effects were better. It was,
It was scarier.
but the first one was just more punk rock.
I
It was just
agree.
more ghetto, and that's
All right. So, how did you feel about the remake?
I honestly, the Evil Dead.
Well, it wasn't really a remake. That's the thing that also, because I'll be honest with you, that's my favorite movie of all time. The Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah,
God.
Army of Darkness.
Bruce Campbell is the coolest
Yes.
fucking cat in the world. I watch it in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, the whole series.
I see. I never saw that.
No.
No, and I have this thing about everything that the mainstream and I see people like go fucking gaga over, like The Walking Dead, and they're like, "Oh, you're a makeup artist and you don't watch Walking Dead." I'm like, it's such a fucking cliche. I'm like, how many hours, like how many days possibly can you be running away from zombies? Like, zombie movies aren't supposed to, or zombies, it's not supposed to be a show. They're supposed to be movies, but I don't know. Everybody was like all about Game of Thrones and
I've never
Hunger Games and fucking Walking Dead and all that shit. I think it's all so overrated. I try and watch it and I just don't get into it.
Are they making good horror movies still, or do you always go back
good ones,
to the old ones?
The only good ones I can say that I've seen in recent, maybe in the last decade, or indies. Like, mainstream horror sucks now because it's all green screen and, it doesn't have that punk factor. It doesn't have, like, a gallon of blood fucking falling on someone's head. It's all CGI and all that shit. Which is cool when it comes to different movies, but, like, when it comes, like, to me, horror and punk, it's almost, like, the same. And when it's, like,
True.
it's supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be
So you like
ghetto.
the campy stuff too?
Yeah, I like the old shitty ass horror movies. Like, I have some horror movie DVDs that I don't think anyone's even seen. Like,
I have. I'm pretty sure. I have.
I'm
Have
pretty
you-
sure you have as well.
Yeah.
have you seen The Asylum?
Yeah.
The old Asylum. Oh
Mhm.
my god, I'm so impressed. We
Yeah.
need to have like horror movie night here.
I'll
should.
I'll give you a little bit of advice. Don't doubt what that man in front of you has seen. He's fucking seen
No,
it all.
I have
Who was the Italian movie maker that we were talking about when Brenda did call in? Do you remember?
Dario Argento.
You know, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but and it was the first time I think that I'd engineered your show. And she was listening and she messaged me and goes, "What the fuck? Dario Argento?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you guys talking
Well,
about?"
you see that?
And she called in and you're like, "You're the first person who fucking knows what they're talking about."
That's right. Yeah, opera. Fucking. There's so many. I've met Lamberto Bava, Demons, the original.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have the first and second Demons.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I love those films. And Lucio Fulci.
Yes, Zombie.
Yes.
Oh, I love that movie. I have that too.
The Beyond. I mean, that's
yeah.
the gate.
Suspiria's too.
There you
I
go.
haven't seen-
Yeah.
There's so many good old horror movies out there.
Look, I'm like such a horror connoisseur. I can't stand CGI. I love the special practical effects. I mean, you talk about even like the horror punk rock. I love even the movies that actually bridge the gap between that, like The Return of the Living Dead. Man, you know who's on the soundtrack? The Damned, 45
Yeah.
Grave. You know, there was great fucking
That
horror
was
stuff.
punk rock.
And I just found this, and I know you'll probably like this. If you're a B horror fan, the
Yes.
original Night of the Demons.
Ooh.
Night of the Demons. If you watch that, there's actually stickers on the boombox that have TSOL on there. They're playing, God, who's on the soundtrack of that? I just found some buttons. Me and my old drummer, our favorite line was that, just eat a bowl of fuck. Just, I don't know. It just stuck to me. Anyway,
like it.
all right. We could do this all day long.
I could talk about horror movies till.
Then you have to come back on and we'll just do a horror movie and bring
yeah.
Brenda on here and we'll just do horror movies all night. I've had horror movie directors on here. I'll bring some more on here and I'm trying to get Mike Mendez. Have you ever seen the movie Mike Mendez? I've been trying to get him in studio. I like it better when I can talk to people instead of on the phone.
Yeah.
He did a movie called The Convent, Demonic Nuns. God damn, it's good.
Wow.
It's
I have
super
not
super
seen-
punk rock.
Wow.
It's hard to find. It's called The Convent. He just did a movie with Dolph Lundgren. Don't Kill It. He did Big Ass Spider, Tales of Halloween. A lot of good movies. Anyway, Dutchie also gave us the shirt because we don't have shit. Well, we have as much time as we want. But look, we got fucking brand new chaoticradio.com t-shirts, dude. Fuck yeah.
Sick, and I got one too. I'm
Nice.
special.
It's about time we had something to give away.
Yeah.
You know?
So speaking of which, okay, we got these new T-shirts. I'm gonna plug some stuff for my band as well. Something Ferocious finally has some new merchandise. If you guys are fans of the band, I thank you. I don't talk about my band as much because I try to make it about my guests. But we do have new T-shirts that are coming out this week. If you're like skater fans, they're like skater type logos that we got. We have new stickers coming out. I'm very happy. We've been working a lot with our new drummer, Freddie. I love you, dude. He's one of the coolest cats ever. We've been playing a lot of shows. We've got a lot of shows coming up. In fact, this Saturday night, we're playing at Davia Pizza with the Trancers, VFMS. We're playing with World Class Act. Sunday, February 4th, we'll be at Alex's Bar in Long Beach with the Flock Wolves and the Brutalists. Another Englishman used to be in a famous English band called the Choir Boys. He's going to be a guest here in
Do
studio.
you know what? I found the Choir Boys album in my what's left in my collection the other day.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think they only had one. Well, after the show, I'll get it out. I'll show you.
Yeah, well,
If it's the same Choir Boys, we're talking a hair band back in around 87, 88.
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. And I'm playing with them on the 4th, and that's why
You're
I
playing
wanted-
with the Choir Boys.
No. The singer is in a band now called the Brutalists. It's the singer, and I think one of the guys from LA Guns or something is in the band.
Nice.
And I've been hearing nothing but good stuff. They're gonna be a guest. At least the singer is, and he's English too, dude. So you can have fun.
Yeah,
You
fuck
guys
it.
can talk all Brit. Can
Oh,
I listen?
hello, mate. All right.
I wanna
Right,
listen.
you know.
Okay, I have a question. This is just out of curiosity, and
Go ahead.
I ask this for most people. What was the first LP you ever owned?
The first LP I ever owned.
This is how I judge people.
The first LP, the actually first vinyl that I ever,
Vinyl you ever owned.
99 cents. I bought this at a thrift store, and I didn't even know who the band was. It was Peace Through Vandalism by the Vandals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's I got
How
that
old were you?
13. Yeah.
You was a late starter, weren't you?
Well, no, because like I said, I was
No, you were a
well,
13 before you. Come on.
Well, no, because in the 80s, you know, I was into Joan Jett and the Blackhearts and Billy Idol and all the shit I saw on TV. Because punk rock has always been underground. And I didn't get into punk rock. When I heard the Misfits for the first time, I was like, what the fuck is this? Right? And so Metallica, AC/DC, I was like, you guys can take a back seat for a second. Let me find out what's going on here. Misfits, Ramones, Black Flag, when I got into all that, I was like, oh, this is where it's at, you know? I rarely listen to metal now, you know? It's not like it's bad, but yeah. What was your first album?
My first album was T-Rex.
Wow.
Right, and it was a Music for Pleasure T-Rex ones. Now, if you're not from England, you won't know what Music for Pleasure is. It was a label that did a lot of fucking bullshit, cheap ass albums where it was bands doing a cover of the real song and then putting it out as this is last month's charts, you know.
Yeah.
But they also would grab albums from big-time artists that had failed, and the artist didn't really give a fuck, and they would re-release it. And it was, I believe the album was Ride a White Swan.
Okay.
Right? I remember the album as a purple cover, and then the next album I bought, and I've still got it, I think I showed it you the other day, was the next T-Rex album was The Slider.
All right.
So I hope that if that's how you judge people, man, I'm fucking,
You guys
I
are
must be
both
way
cool
up the
as-
fucking list, you know?
So
What was yours? Yeah.
What was yours?
Okay, so I was
Better be good.
6 years old. And
6.
6 years old, and it was Alice Cooper's Poison.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's funny the way I acquired it was
Jesus, that makes me feel old as fuck.
like,
You were 6 years old. The album was trash, right?
yes,
Yeah, you remember that.
trash.
Oh no, I went to that was the first time I'd seen Alice Cooper live. I went to the Trash tour, and I've got the
Yes.
fucking DVD in there
Oh
of
my
that
God.
tour. I saw him at Wembley Arena.
Wembley. Oh my god. Yeah, I still have it, and it was my brother. He made me be his slave for a week. He's like, "I'll give it to you." So I like scrubbed his shit, and I fucking did all of anything he asked me to do for a week, and I finally obtained it, and I just thought it was so cool because I saw like Alice Cooper in his leather jacket, and it said trash, and it just so badass. I
Yeah.
just, as a 6-year-old, I was like, "This is fucking awesome."
All right.
It was unreal though, because Alice Cooper, that was his big comeback album.
Yeah.
After years of being,
Yeah.
you know,
and I love that album.
Yeah, and he got with Bon Jovi wrote a lot of songs
Yeah.
with him on that.
I
All right.
do
Well,
have that
in
too.
in fairness, like I said, that was you asked vinyl. I was being specific with vinyl. The Vandals. It was on Epitaph. It was Peace Through Vandalism, one of the best punk albums ever. They switched singers, and I wasn't really a big Vandals fan after that. But first cassette that I had was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC.
Oh,
That was
shit.
that's what I'm saying. I listened to rock and roll back in the day,
That's
but that was the first actual physical vinyl that I had, and I actually bought that record just because it had the vinyl the Vandals logo with the M16 on it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a record player. It took me 10 years to hear that record.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I just bought the record. I was like, "Fucking, this is
Fucking
this is-
right, you know? And you know what? And staying on that subject, same thing. What was your first 45 you bought? Or did you buy a 45? Were they around when you was a kid, or are they gone?
The very first 45 that I bought was actually from the very first punk show that I'd ever been to. And I saw this band called Totem Pole. I still have it. I'll bring it in and play it. And they just reminded me of the Sex Pistols. They were just bad as shit. It was weird, too, because, this is in the 90s. And I went with my friends, and they were having a rave in the front of the fucking of the front of the club. Yeah, remember raves, dude? Oh, God damn it.
Don't remind me of those.
Never went to one, though.
Oh, you're lucky.
You're
Fuck,
lucky.
nah.
Yeah.
I'm not lucky. It was choice. I'm clever, not lucky.
Yeah, you're clever.
But in the back was a band called Fighting Cause, which is actually a lot of good friends of mine now. Johnny Cheapo, he still plays. Ron Tidwell, who actually played drums for me after that in the Hostages, and now he's in a band called the Lipstick Stains. They're playing around a lot. It was Fighting Cause, and it was the Mighty fucking Totem Pole. I still got the 7-inch, dude. I'll bring it in. I've been waiting for the time to bring in. Like, I have certain albums that I hold on to that I want to bring in to do a certain show. You know, like I said, like that's the first time I've ever played the Ill Repute record on the show because you guys did the Ill Repute thing. Anyway, I got to fucking piss, dude. Can you play?
I'll carry on. I'm gonna, because I want to tell you. No, I'll play. You know what? I'll play some music.
All right, do that.
Right.
You're listening to the Black Lung Show live on chaoticradio.com.
It's interesting. You go on. You carry on. Me and the girl can talk.
Yeah.
We're good, right? But you talk about buying 45s. You never bought a 45, did
I
you?
didn't. No, I don't have a 45.
You don't have any.
No.
The first one I ever bought was, I think, fucking hell. I don't want to sound old, but you should never be afraid and scared to be old and dead, right? 1969.
Damn.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
David Bowie,
Oh, nice.
Space Oddity.
Wow.
And then I gave it away on the show about 2 years ago.
No, who'd you give it to?
I gave it to Cat Lively. And I don't know if you know Cat Lively.
I just worked with her yesterday.
Fuck off!
Yes, we just did a shoot for Inked magazine.
Really?
Yeah.
What a coincidence that is.
That's
Cat Lively, me and her have got, she's like a fucking second daughter to me.
Aww.
Right? I love her story. I mean, I hope she gets to go to the next level and the next level and the next level.
She is awesome. I like her.
Because I met her through Facebook, which is, everyone goes, you think about it, it's like, how do you get to meet these people through Facebook? And you kind of watch their story unfold and you follow them and you comment here and there.
Yeah.
And most of them you never, ever, ever get to fucking meet, right?
Yeah.
So I'm following her and she's watching what's going on at the station and stuff like that. And then the how do you put it? The dream turned to a nightmare, that she was in a situation where she was going to leave Hollywood. She was going to go home. She was going to go back to whatever state she came from because times were tough.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Don't. I got a 3-bedroom home in Montclair. Get your shit together. Give it a month and go back to Hollywood. And she came and stayed at my place for about 4 or 5 weeks. She fucking hated it every second of it.
Aw.
Because she's like, dude, I'd fucking rather get the fuck out of the state. I need to be in fucking Hollywood, But she survived that and she went back to Hollywood.
Good for her.
Yeah,
I love
and look
that.
where she is now.
Yeah, she's amazing, dude. I love working with her. And that's what's cool about the Facebook thing. You link with people and you notice that they, do costume designing or directing or photography. And you're like, hey, let's work together. And then you do, and then you become friends. And you're like, this all, happened through Facebook. It's
Yeah, it is. And, and then you get to finally meet
yeah.
people who've been your Facebook friends.
like you guys.
Like us today.
yeah.
And I know at the It's Not Dead Fest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you came to the...
right, and
right?
I called you, but you had already left.
Yeah, and we missed each other.
Yeah.
Because we got in there before the gates opened, because we had or as the gates opened, it was 101,000,000 degrees.
Oh, I hate that venue. I'm sorry, but I've seen some bitchin' bands. I went to Inland Invasion 2001.
So 2002 I went when the Pistols headlined.
Oh, that was, yes, I'm sorry, 2002.
Yeah.
I saw we were there, and we didn't know each other. How fucking weird is that? I mean,
You were only 10 then?
I was, no, I wish. I was like 17 or 18 or some shit. But, the good old days. But yeah, that venue is just, I've seen Manson and Ozzy and everybody there, and I've seen some bitchin' bands, but the venue is just so hot. It's just in the middle of the freaking desert, and it's like death. So, I'm not a big
that's where I
fan.
live. I actually live like 5 minutes away from the venue.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do.
Jesus, how do
The
you know?
armpit of California, San Bernardino.
I lived in Menifee for about 7 weeks, and I left so fast. But it was like I moved to Menifee right after I came back from London like 3 years ago, and I went from like 30-degree weather to like 110, and it was miserable. I was like, I just can't bang with the hot weather.
Okay.
True story.
Oh, no, I mean, I remember that day well. I mean, the list of bands that played that day were just so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact is the Pistols are they have, and always will be punk rock. Simple.
They are.
That it's you can talk Ramones, MC5, you can talk
Yeah.
about any bands but what exploded punk to where it is today is
Was
because
the Sex
it's because
Pistols.
of one man, and it's not even the band. It's Malcolm McLaren was a clever fucking cunt.
Yeah, he did.
Simple as that, And he made punk rock from what was going on in America, and then it exploded
Yeah.
on both sides of them.
Well, yeah, because before that you had, the New York scene with bands like, Blondie and Television and Richard Hell, and punk came from that punk magazine, the Dead Boys. The whole scene was there. But you're right. Malcolm was the one that he manufactured that and made it fashionable. I mean, that's the Sex Pistols. I mean, that's we were talking about locks earlier. You know, how many people dress like the fucking Sex Pistols?
Yeah. With the leopard head.
Yeah.
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 I mean, my show on Friday, when me and Brenda did our show on Friday, we did 15 UK bands, 15 US bands, and took their biggest selling single. Now, it was fucking easy for me because every British punk band charted. And they charted multiple times with all their different songs. And I just took their highest charting single. But the US bands didn't make it into the charts.
That's
so
right, yeah.
That really opened my eyes to what a different place we lived in and how punk was mainstream without being mainstream in the UK. And over here it was totally underground pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, in England it was called punk rock. In America it was called fag. It's basically they would beat you up, for looking weird,
Yeah.
Again, that's more bad shit to say on the radio.
No, it's not. It's reality.
No, it's,
fuck people. Fuck people who think that. Oh, he said fag. Fuck off.
No,
if we say that, we say it. It's
a
we're
truth.
not aiming it at someone.
No,
we're just
I
saying
know.
a fact.
And that happened to me a lot, when I was a kid, and like, through the generations, I mean, shit, when punk exploded, I was born in 77, you know what I mean? But, growing up Mexican, in San Bernardino, fuck, man, there was like 6 of us, and was like, dude, are you gay? Are you worship the devil? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Nah, it's better than that.
Try being goth in Orange County. Like when I was in high school and even after, I was like this like weirdo punk goth, and I still am. I don't think I've changed. People go through phases. I think I'm just smarter goth punk than just smarter.
As long as we all think that we're the smartest and the best than the others, then we can't fucking lose.
Yeah.
It's true. But yeah, like everybody in Orange County is like, these white people with tons of money and their parents have yachts and shit. And I'm like, we don't have a phone or furniture. My parents aren't home. I'm a latchkey kid. I don't belong
But
here.
at least you're English.
That's true.
Can you do an English accent? Come on, I want to hear it. I want you to go back to when you're 6 years old. Go, Daddy, could I get a 99 from the ice cream truck, please?
But Daddy, I want it.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, how about this one? Can you do this for Dutchie? Can you say it? I want a proper pint.
I want a proper pint.
Exactly. You get a proper pint.
A proper
Well,
pint.
either that or a glass of fucking wine.
That's true.
All right, man. So we're gonna have to start wrapping this up pretty soon. We got a few minutes left. Dutchie, new year, brother. You are now the co-host of the Black Lunch. My show is your show. I've been saying this shit forever. Chaotic Radio. We support bands. I'm proud of you, man. That was cool as shit that you were doing that at TSOL last night. What shows? I saw you got something coming up, right? Are you playing Gallagher?
Friday night, we're playing Gallagher's in Huntington Beach.
This Friday night?
This Friday night with Toxic Energy with Greg Dixon's band.
There you go.
Greg's fronting us this week because we don't have a singer, an official lead singer. It's Casey Royer or it's Greg. Eric's bowed out because of his family situation. He's busy pumping out kids, so he's not allowed.
I'm gonna have to jump in there, dude.
It's open, brother. It's open. We play old school punk classics. How can you fucking know the words anyway?
I do.
Let's go.
I want to. All right. So, what else you got coming in? Is that the only show?
That's it. Yeah, we only play about 6 shows a year.
All right. So we've got something ferocious again. My friend's benefit show is Saturday night. Devia Pizza in Riverside. Us, the Trancers, VFMS, and World Class Act. The only other thing that I've got going on is Sunday, February 4th, the day after my birthday, at Alex's Bar. Us, the Flock Wolves and the Brutalists, which we were talking about earlier, ex-members of the Choir Boys and LA Guns. We have new T-shirts that just came in. We've been recording. Thanks to Eddie from the Voodoo Glow Skulls for recording our new album. We're actually going to go back in. So finally, we're going to have this EP done. We have 5 songs in. We're going to do a couple more next month in February, and then you can find out more about the band. And Chaotic Radio, man. I think 2018 is going to be the fucking year for the station.
We're either going to be the best radio station in the world,
We already
or the
are.
best radio station in the world.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, seriously, last night hanging with those people down there, being able to stand on a stage, and people came up to our booth, and I go with Chaotic Radio. So yeah, we know. And then I had this, you know, you get the moment, and I go, I'm fucking hell, I'm in front of 1,000 fucking people who love punk rock, and I go, hey, so what punk station do you listen to? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what was that? Yeah, no one.
There are none.
There are none.
There
That's
are
right.
none.
There fucking are none. So my next big fucking plan is that you can fucking pretty much turn on this station 24/7. And if it's a live show, it's a live show. But if it ain't a live show, it's going to be a good replay or it's going to be punk.
Hell
That's right.
yeah. I
You
am
know?
so down to help for that. I will donate
We'd
my
appreciate that.
causes. Yes, because how many times can you turn on the radio and fucking narcoleptic youth is on, you know?
You can't do it. You just can't do it.
Happen. You
My-
hear it's the same shit every time.
That's
and-
right.
You know what? Because I'm now the co-host, I'm fucking playing the last song.
That's
Unless you had something special lined up.
It's all you.
I'm gonna give it to my guest. What else would you like to plug? Are you doing something cool? Do you want to shout out to a benefit? Whatever you want to say. It's your fucking show. Like I said,
Is it? Oh my god! I should have come better prepared, and that's that thing we were talking about when I came
I'm
in.
not prepared at all.
I told you I don't know what I'm doing in life. I wake up and I just.
If you ever want to come back in here, and if I have a band in here, or if I don't have a band in here, you're always welcome. You want to come in,
yeah.
come hang out.
I'll always come. I'm down. If I'm not booked, I'll come hang out.
All
For
right.
sure. You guys are like 30 minutes from me.
Nice.
It was a pleasure having you on the station.
Thanks
really
for
was.
having me. I had fun.
And we get to finally meet.
Yes, it's real now.
And that's the most important thing in
Yeah.
life. Is now we know each other.
It's not just Facebook
Yeah.
official.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now it's real life official.
Facebook official. What the fuck is that, Mrs. Trump?
Oh.
I'm
my
sorry. No.
God,
Oh, hang on. No, I fucked it up
Yeah,
there.
you fucked that
No,
up.
you know why? Because I got mixed up. Don't ever fucking tweet me. Don't ever tweet me because I associate the two with each other.
I don't tweet.
I don't either.
I have Twitter, but I never use it. It's just I don't understand it.
I can't figure it out either. I don't even like the word tweet. Like I don't want to.
Stupid. Fucking
Yeah.
It
stupid.
sounds stupid.
It sounds like I'm like having like a very small diarrhea explosion. Like
Oh.
here's a little.
Hey, and on that note, let's fucking go.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the Black Lung Show. Thanks for Dutchie. Thanks for my guests.
Mana.
Mana.
See,
Mana?
I wanted her to say it.
And
Now
now
I
I
need to
fucked
fuck
it
it
up
up.
as well, yeah.
I saw that. I
Right?
saw that. It's okay. I still love you.
All right.
I am an anti-coaster. I am an anarchoaster. Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I wanna destroy, possibly, 'cause I wanna be anarchy. Now, dogs, buddy. Anarchy for the UK is coming sometime. Maybe I give a wrong time. Stop a traffic line. Your future dream is a shopping scheme. 'Cause I wanna be anarchy in the city. Many ways to get what you want. I use the best, I use the rest. I use the enemy. I use anarchy 'cause I wanna be anarchy. It's the only way to be. There's a